Hello and welcome to the new Minju channel. It's been a while. My name is Minju Shin, and on today's episode, we'll travel back in time to almost a year ago when the unthinkable happened one December evening. Yes, you guessed it, the night that martial law was declared. This is a video I had actually been preparing several months ago, but had for a number of reasons put on hold and then eventually gave up on. However, recently I felt called to bring it back to life and put it out there into the YouTube universe. Almost a year has passed since this unthinkable event shook our country up. And though Yoon has been impeached and is no longer president, he is still on trial for several charges, namely that of being the head of insurrection, obstructing the performance of official duties, which I think is the Korean legal equivalent of what's commonly known as obstruction of justice, and also the charges of benefiting the enemy by other methods. And lastly, for now, for exerting pressure on the investigation surrounding the line of duty death of Corporal Che. This last charge against Yoon has only recently been made, coming almost 2.5 years since Corporal Che's death and 142 days after the special prosecution began formal proceedings for the case of Corporal Che in July. Today's video is going to be a consecutive interpretation, along with some added commentary, of current President Lee Jae-myung's live stream that he courageously, ingeniously, and miraculously managed to broadcast on the night that martial law was declared last year. And back then, he was the leader of the Democratic Party. Just a side note before we begin, looking back at the past few months, I feel like with the passage of time, it's only becoming increasingly clear how valuable and critical Lee's live stream truly was in ensuring that Korea was not gobbled up by Yoon and his forces and, doomed for God knows how long. Especially in light of Korea's recent APEC success, as well as the Kospi having broken 4,000 a few weeks ago, I see a lot of people commenting online about what would have happened had we not been able to oust Yoon, and how bad things would still be under the Yoon administration. Which, by the way, though this is probably a topic for a whole nother video, it turns out that, as was expected by many, Yoon's administration wasn't even truly Yoon's administration, but more like a Yoon Kim co-kingship of sorts, at the very least. So yeah, friendly reminder, in case you're new here, this is not a politically non-biased channel providing objective information. I am here as an unofficial supporter and admirer of Lee Jae-myung and those who work with him in the Democratic Party. Full disclosure. Anyways, back to today's topic. Many people, including Lee Jae-myung himself, has mentioned that what happened on the night of martial law was nothing short of a miracle, since there were so many key points and moments on that night at which things could have gone according to Yoon's plans, but somehow miraculously didn't. Just to name a few, had Yoon decided to declare martial law at a different time, for example, let's say 3 a.m. instead of 10:27 p.m., things would have gone differently. Had it been on any other day instead of a weekday, Tuesday, things would have gone differently. Had he had soldiers staked out and positioned in their places before publicly announcing his intention to declare martial law, for example, if there had been soldiers waiting for Lee Jae-myung outside of his house before he left for the National Assembly building, that night would have gone very differently. And if there had been even one key military personnel that loyally fulfilled their mission successfully, things would have been different. If the helicopters had arrived at the National Assembly building just a little bit sooner, things would have gone different. And most importantly, if the Korean citizens had mobilized just a little bit slower. Can you imagine? There are other factors too, but even with just a handful of reasons mentioned just now, it's hard to call it a coincidence. It feels very fated. It really feels miraculous. And that's why I'm probably gonna title this video Miracle on the Han. Despite the significance of this live stream and the role it played in gathering the Korean people together to fight against Yoon's illegal declaration of martial law, the media hasn't really given Lee Jae-myung the due credit that the video or that Lee Jae-myung himself deserves, even to this day, with nearly a full year having passed. So without further ado, let's switch over and take a look at this historic live stream together.
와주십시오. 윤석열 대통령이 비상계엄을 선포했습니다.
Please help. President Yoon Suk-yeol has declared emergency martial law.
국회가 해산 비상계엄 해제 의결을 해야 되는데 군대를 동원해서 국회의원들을 체포할 가능성이 매우 높습니다.
The National Assembly must vote to lift the emergency martial law. However, it is highly likely that the military will be mobilized to arrest the representatives of parliament.
국회로 와 주십시오.
Please come to the National Assembly.
늦은 시간이긴 하지만 국민 여러분께서 이 나라를 지켜주셔야 합니다.
I know it is late at night. However, dear citizens, you must protect this country.
저희도 목숨을 바쳐 이 나라 민주주의 꼭 지켜내겠습니다.
We will also put our lives at stake and protect this nation's democracy at all costs.
우리의 힘만으로는 부족합니다.
However, we cannot do it alone.
이 나라의 주인이신 국민 여러분께서 나서 주셔야 합니다.
Dear citizens, as the owners of this country, you must come out.
저도 지금 국회로 가는 길입니다. 국회가 비상계엄 해제 의결을 할 수 있도록 이 나라 민주주의를 강건하게 지켜낼 수 있도록 국민 여러분께서 힘을 보태 주십시오.
I'm also on my way to the National Assembly right now so that we can vote to lift the emergency martial law. Dear citizens, please support us so that we can firmly protect the democracy of this country.
국민 여러분, 지금 국회로 와 주십시오. 국회를 지켜주셔야 합니다.
Dear citizens, please come to the National Assembly right now. You must protect the National Assembly.
이 나라 민주주의의 최후 보루입니다.
It is the last bastion of our country's democracy.
존경하고 사랑하는 국민 여러분, 윤석열 대통령이 비상계엄을 선포했습니다.
Dear beloved and respected citizens, President Yoon Suk-yeol has declared emergency martial law.
비상계엄을 선포할 아무런 이유가 없습니다.
There was no reason at all to declare emergency martial law.
군대가 이 나라를 통치하게 내버려 둘 수는 없습니다.
We cannot just let the military take control over our country.
검찰에 의한 이 폭력적 지배도 부족해서 총칼을 든 무장 군인들이 이 나라를 지배하려고 합니다.
As if the violent domination of the prosecution services wasn't enough. Now we have armed soldiers with guns and knives in hand, attempting to take over our country.
그리고 국군 장병 여러분, 여러분에게 명령을 내릴 수 있는 것은 오로지 국민뿐입니다. 윤석열 대통령은 국민을 배반했습니다.
Additionally, dear military personnel, only the people have the power to command you. President Yoon Suk-yeol has turned his back on the people.
윤석열 대통령의 불법적인 비상계엄 선포는 무효입니다.
President Yoon Suk-yeol's declaration of emergency martial law is null and void.
지금 이 순간부터 윤석열 대통령은 대한민국 대통령이 아닙니다.
From this moment onward, Yoon Suk-yeol is no longer the president of Korea.
장병 여러분, 여러분이 들고 있는 총, 칼, 여러분의 권력은 모두 국민에게서 온 것입니다.
Dear military personnel, the guns and knives you currently hold in your hands, power that you have all been given to you by the people of this nation.
이 나라의 주인은 국민이고 국군 장병 여러분께서 복종해야 될 주인은 윤석열 대통령이 아니라 바로 국민입니다.
The owner of this country are its citizens. The owner whom you should obey is not President Yoon Suk-yeol, but the people.
국민은 윤석열 대통령의 비상계엄을 허용하지 않았습니다. 비상계엄을
The people did not allow for President Yoon Suk-yeol's emergency martial law.
미래, 운명이 달려 있습니다.
It got cut off, but he's saying here something about lies the fate of the future.
여러분이 복종해야 될 것은 윤석열 대통령의 명령이 아니라 바로 국민의 명령입니다. 국민 여러분, 신속하게 국회로 와 주십시오.
What you need to follow is not Yoon Suk-yeol's orders, it is the citizens' orders. Dear citizens, please come quickly to the National Assembly.
민주주의의 마지막 보루 국회를 지켜주십시오.
Please protect the last bastion of democracy, the National Assembly.
저도 지금 국회를 향해 가고 있습니다.
I am also on my way to the National Assembly right now.
절박한 시간입니다.
It is an urgent times.
나라의 운명이 풍전 등화입니다.
The fate of the nation hangs by a thread.
윤석열 대통령의 불법적이고 위헌적이고 반국민적인 계엄 선포,
President Yoon Suk-yeol has declared an illegal and unconstitutional anti-national martial law.
이 나라의 진정한 주권자, 민주공화국 대한민국의 주체인 국민들께서 지켜주셔야 합니다.
You, the true sovereign of this nation, the citizens who are the owners of Korea's democratic republic, you must protect. I think he's saying you must protect the National Assembly or democracy. Got cut off. It's cut off again.
(2년 6개월) 이 짧은 시간에 이 나라가 얼마나 많이 망가졌습니까?
How much has our country deteriorated in the short span of 2 years and 6 months?
존경하는 국민 여러분, 윤석열 대통령이 아무런 이유도 없이 비상계엄을 선포했습니다.
Dear respected citizens, President Yoon Suk-yeol, without any reason, has declared martial law.
이제 곧 탱크와 장갑차, 총칼을 든 군인들이 이 나라를 지배하게 됩니다.
Soon, tanks and APCs, soldiers with guns and knives, will take over this country.
사법제도도 다 중단되고 군인들이 단심으로 심판하는 비상계엄이 시작됐습니다.
Martial law has begun, under which the judicial system will come to a halt, and soldiers will make single trial judgments.
대한민국의 경제가 회복될 수 없도록 무너질 것입니다. 국제 신인도가 떨어질 것입니다. 대한민국에 투자한 외국인 철수할 것입니다.
Korea's economy will fall apart beyond reparation. We will lose international credibility. Foreign investment will leave the country.
대한민국 경제가 망가지고 안 그래도 나빠진 민생이 끝을 모르고 추락할 것입니다.
And Korea's economy will be destroyed. And the livelihood of the people, which is already suffering, will continue to descend without end.
국민 여러분, 국회로 와 주십시오.
Dear citizens, please come to the National Assembly.
무너지는 민주주의, 여러분이 함께 나서 지켜주십시오.
Please come out and let us protect the democracy that is crumbling apart together.
군인 대신 영장을 든 검사들이 이 나라를 지배하는 줄 알았습니다. 이제 검찰 지배 국가에서 군인 지배 국가로 전환할 모양입니다.
I had thought that prosecutors with warrants, not soldiers, had been dominating this country. However, now it looks as though we will transition from a country dominated by prosecutors to a country dominated by soldiers.
이렇게 방치할 수는 없습니다.
We cannot let this happen.
국민 여러분, 여의도 국회로 가주십시오. 저도 국회로 갑니다.
Dear citizens, please go to the National Assembly in Yeouido. I am going to the National Assembly as well.
존경하는 국민 여러분, 어떻게 만들어 온 대한민국입니까? 어떻게 만들어 온 민주주의입니까? 어떻게 만든 세계 10위의 선진.
Dear respected citizens, how did we build this country? How did we build this democracy? How did we build the world's 12th most developed nation?
힘을 합쳐 주십시오.
We must come together.
저도 믿어지지가 않습니다.
I too cannot believe what is happening.
집안으로 무장 군인들이 쳐들어오지 않을까 급하게 차리고 집을 나섰습니다.
I quickly prepared and left home, out of fear that armed soldiers would break into my home.
존경하는 국민 여러분, 저도 아직 현실감이 없습니다. 꿈과 같습니다.
Dear respected citizens, this still feels surreal. It feels like a dream.
21세기 선진 강국 대한민국에서 비상계엄이라니.
Emergency martial law in the strong, advanced nation of the Republic of Korea in the 21st century.
국민 여러분, 상상이 되십니까?
Dear citizens, can you imagine?
이거는 실제 상황입니다.
This is really happening.
비를 지켜내야 합니다. 국민 여러분, 국회로 와 주십시오.
We must protect democracy. Dear citizens, please come to the National Assembly. Okay, I think we lose audio from this point onwards. Let me take this as an opportunity to kind of share some extra information with you. Lee, thinking that it was possible that he'd be captured by the martial law forces, felt he should at least document what happens so people can know what happens to him instead of just, potentially being kidnapped and vanishing without a trace. Also, he wanted to mobilize the people to gather at the National Assembly building because he knew from his past experience during the Gwangju democratization movement that the only way we'd have any shot at stopping the militia was through and by the power of the people mobilizing. So Lee has stated in an interview with journalist Kim Jun that the trauma he had from the Gwangju democratization movement that took place in May of 1980 was actually what inspired his decision to turn on live stream on December 3rd. So back in the day, due to fake news, Lee had actually believed in his youth that those who had participated in the democratization movement had been insurgents rising up against the country, when in fact, they were actually fighting for democracy against the military dictator at the time, John Doo-hwan. He recalled that during that time, there had been announcements that were made all throughout town by women, alerting people that the martial law forces are coming and urging the people to come out and mobilize. In case you're wondering, it's his wife who's actually driving him. If you listen earlier on in the clip, you can actually hear his wife sniffling in the background. Is he getting out now? Not yet? Yes? Okay, so I think he's getting out now. Okay, so he was dropped off at the corner of the southeast gate of the National Assembly building, and he arrived early, but the police had already blocked the main entrance, but not yet the southeast entrance. So he got out of the car and pretended to be just a passerby, acting nonchalant, and there he goes, jumping over the fence onto the National Assembly grounds. And because there may have been soldiers waiting for him, he didn't go directly to his office, and instead he stayed outside here in this kind of forest park area for a while. You can see here he is walking, maybe running, kind of moving quickly to a safe spot within the forest on the National Assembly grounds. He meets Democratic Representative Han Jun-ho and goes to his office for a while to create kind of like a chain of command, like an emergency plan, so to speak, listing out who should be in charge in case something happens to Lee Jae-myung. They eventually leave Han's office because they realize they're probably not going to be safe there either. And then they take Han's car and go to a different area in the forest, I believe closer to the National Assembly Library. But they still remain outside for some time. There are a couple of different reasons why Lee Jae-myung mentioned that he stayed outside. And one of the reasons was that he wanted to listen to the crowd gathering outside the National Assembly building to get a sense of how many people had gathered. And he did hear the voices get louder and louder. And the other reason was that he didn't want to go into the actual National Assembly building too early because he could also get caught on the way there or when he arrives, right? And the National Assembly needed 150 representatives to vote to lift the martial law. But if Lee got prematurely caught, he could have jeopardized the vote from actually taking place and just added more chaos to an already precarious situation. I think this is him going to Representative Han's office. I'm not 100% sure. But he is indoors now. Let's see. I forget if the audio actually comes back on eventually or if it stays off for the rest of the 4 minutes or so that we have left here. I'm like disappearing. What is going on here? I can't imagine what must be going through his mind right now. And if I'm not mistaken, I also heard there weren't any other representatives who turned on a live stream during this time, that Lee Jae-myung was the sole representative to do so. Okay, we just have 2 minutes left on the video clip. And he has sat down. The fact that we were able to witness what happened firsthand, at least through the video, I think it's just amazing. Thank God he didn't get captured. Oh, I can't imagine what would have happened to Korea had Lee Jae-myung been captured on his way into the parliament, into the National Assembly here. Okay, we have about 20 seconds left. I think he's just gonna, yeah, I don't think the audio is gonna come back on. I think it's just gonna end. Okay. Okay, so that ended. Okay, so that was my translation and commentary on Lee Jae-myung's live stream from last December 3rd, 2024, when martial law was declared. I hope you all enjoyed today's episode, and much respect not only to Lee Jae-myung, but to all those who made it out onto the cold winter streets last year and helped save Korea. Legitimately, they saved Korea, and they helped bring Korea to where it is today. A much happier, safer, more reasonable, and democratic place. that's all I have for today. Thank you for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye.